could work out. Could work out.
Could work out. One position that Oklahoma needs to get worked out, that's tight end.
You are Locked On Sooners, your daily podcast on the Oklahoma Sooners. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Again, thanks for making Locked On Sooners your first listen every single day. And shout out to all the everydayers out there. Subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts. The Oklahoma Sooners tight end position has been a roller coaster ride through the 2024 season. We've had some really good plays, some solid moments where you're just kind of cruising down the track, not going up, not going down. And then we've had some negative moments, especially in this Auburn game where several plays were wiped off due to penalties, or you got pushed back into some unfortunate downs and distances because of penalties. Bauer Sharp, Jake Roberts, a little bit of Cade McIntyre. How do you feel like this position can grow moving forward?
As of right now, honestly, Bauer Sharp had a fantastic game against Auburn. He showed us a lot of his potential and what he can be for this team long term. He graded out very well, and the catches he made across the middle, he had 4 receptions, 43 yards against Auburn, and then he had that really big play that could have put him over 100 for the game, but it was wiped off because we didn't sell the pick play like you're supposed to. You still got to run your route, still got to go look like you're trying to catch the bass, and then always accidentally bump into him or make your defender run into each other. Whatever you got to do, you got to sell it better. But I think Bauer Sharp with this game, because he's starting to show some of those improvements, I think he solidified it. He was really good in blocking, and he caught those passes across the middle, so it feels like there's a little chemistry with him and Michael Hawkins. So I think if anything, those two are going. Cade McIntyre, he's probably going to start getting worked in now that he's definitely healthy. Same thing with hopefully Caden Helms comes. I would love to see both Bauer and Caden Helms out there, go 4 wide, but have those two tight ends out there at the wide in the slot. That would be an interesting setup because with their size, they'll be imposing while at the same time their athleticism will make it to where you're still technically chasing a tight end, but it's built like a wide receiver or athletic enough like a wide receiver.
Yeah, they've got some interesting parts, and I think Bauer Sharp he's been the best thing out of the tight end room. He's got 4 catches in each of the last 3 games. He had his most yardage against Auburn since week 1 with the 43 yards against Auburn, 47 against Temple. I think what you're seeing, and even if they don't run that pick play, I think Bauer Sharp is catching that and getting 15 to 20 yards at least on that play, because he was open, pick play or not. He had beat his guys so cleanly. So I like the direction that he's heading as a receiver. Obviously, I think he and the rest of the tight end room have to continue to get better as a blocking group. But if they make some adjustments and don't ask your guy that just converted from tight end in the last couple of years to do more complex things in the blocking scheme, then perhaps it can be better. If you just simplify what you're asking him to do, then I think he won't be a net negative in the blocking, and he definitely provides you something in the passing game. And I think he's been really solid, and that's what you need. You need somebody who's going to be reliable, consistent, and he's been exactly that. Again, 4 catches each of the last 3 games. He's averaging, just over 3 catches a game. And his reception yardage, he had 28 against Tulane, 36 in the loss to Tennessee, and then 43 against Auburn. So maybe kind of trending a little bit. If he's got a bit of a rapport with Michael Hawkins, that makes all the difference in the world to the passing game.
Yeah, I think the most important thing is that we need to see progression.
Yep.
Right. And I think we're seeing that now. I think we're seeing the progression at this room that we're actually able to use it. So far this season, statistically, the tight ends have put up better numbers than what we got last year, right? Have we basically not yet, but we've just about surpassed the numbers we put up at tight end last year. And that's one, it's crazy. 2, it's also a very good thing. I'm just glad that we're seeing progress. And I think the crazy part about that too is we haven't been doing very well at quarterbacking right now.
Right.
Yeah, we're getting better, You know, Hawkins is out there. He's growing, and I think you're going to see a lot more installments over the next few weeks. It looks like week over week, it's like compound interest, right? They're just adding on top of it and growing and growing and growing, right? Now, there's a very good chance that we see Hawkins put up, 250, 300 yards in this next game, and everybody be surprised, like, where'd this come from? And it's all because he's compounding, he's building on top of his successes, and they're just going to keep adding components to it to, move us forward. So to me, there's no reason why we don't get 100 yards out of a tight end sometime soon. Within the next couple games.
It wouldn't surprise me if it's this week that Bauer Sharp has an explosion.
It's true.
They're going to be so concerned with Michael Hawkins as a runner that's going to create some opportunities in the middle of the field that Bauer Sharp can take advantage of. At this point, the tight end group has more receptions than last year's group did.
It's so crazy.
For the entire season. They have more touchdowns than last year's group did for the entire season, and have almost as much yardage as last year's group did for the entire season. So that tells you exactly even though Jake Roberts, if he can clean up the penalties and he can, kind of erase some of those unforced errors, it'll help the tight end group look a whole lot better. I think if they can start integrating a Davin Mitchell, get him involved a little bit, let him use his size and his athleticism in certain circumstances, get down in the goal line, run a couple, run some 2-3 tight end sets, and then just sneak him out, into the flat or into the corner of the end zone. Let him and Michael Hawkins reignite that connection that they have had for years and years and years as best friends and former teammates. I think that could just be a lot of fun. It could be an interesting wrinkle into the offensive attack if you can get him on the field. Now, he's a young guy. He reclassified to the 2024 class. So again, you're talking about a dude that should be a senior in high school right now. So look, I'm not sitting here saying I have these large expectations for him, but I think that there is a way that you can get him on the field that can help you. But ultimately, you can't have the tight end room creating negative plays for you through penalties, because what you're getting out of them isn't like Mark Andrews or Jermaine Gresham. Sorry.
Yeah.
Ugh. I had a Madden flashback. Jermaine Gresham level tight end play. You're getting solid tight end play. And
I agree.
In all of the other areas, they have to maintain solid. They can't be negatives for you.
No, I 100% agree. That's what you need. You need guys that's going to manifest good things, not bad, right? And I believe that the tight end room's going to put it this way: they're outperforming what they did last year, even with the mistakes. That's things that need to be cleaned up, a little bit more discipline in that part. And I think we'll get to that point. That's the only thing that's good about it, is that I feel like we're going to get to that point. And I don't feel like we've regressed there. I think we've gotten better. Honestly, the fact that we've actually gotten penalties makes me feel like, hey, we're actually trying to do something there at tight end. Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at here.
Yeah. Because the blocking wasn't great last year either. They just had enough offensive firepower that they could play with underwhelming tight end play at the position. Sad to say.
I agree.
We've had some really big plays in the first 5 games of the 2024 season. What have been the biggest? What have been our favorites? We'll discuss. Let us know your favorites coming up on Locked On Sooners.